Bodybuilding, my name is Lydia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rock.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selena, I'm from Tavenga-Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, 15 sentenced in Ra Christian State matter. PM clarifies climate change week, not politics. And supermarkets and pharmacies to install EFDs.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
All 15 people convicted of sedition in relation to the Ra Christian State matter were sentenced by the Lautoka High Court this afternoon. Justice Aruna Luthge had earlier found all of the accused guilty on all counts of sedition and convicted them accordingly, except Apalosi Ngalilawa, who was convicted of one count of sedition. Ritika Pratap reports.
Pratipeli Nyundamu was sentenced to 2 years, suspended for 2 years. Sarema Andidave Rokondi and Sailasa Wairowarwa Malani were each sentenced to 2 years. They will serve 18 months, with the remaining 6 months suspended for 2 years. Nanise Kasami Nangusuda was sentenced to 3 years. She will serve 24 months, with the remaining 12 months suspended for 2 years. Waisia Duailima was sentenced to 3 years. He will serve 24 months, the remaining 10 months suspended for 2 years. Samuela Lingamalavu Mikale Gonerara Emosi Tunga, Waisake Radada Josefa Natau, Esikeli Waisenga Kambakoro, Sulaweti Lotu Wangalala, and Lesiasa Modevakada were each sentenced to 2 years imprisonment. They will be serving 18 months, with the remaining 6 months suspended to 2 years. Olayasi Rambuna Tuivomo has been sentenced to 2 years, will serve 20 months, the remaining 4 months suspended for 2 years. Apolosi Galilawa was sentenced to 18 months, will serve 12 months, the remaining 6 months suspended to 2 years. Meanwhile, lawyer Aman Singh says he will appeal the sentences.
Obviously, an appeal is an appeal would be the next step, and my clients have instructed me to file the appropriate documentation when the time is right. And that would be the next move.
So all 15 people are currently off to jail to await the appeal process. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
The Prime Minister stated today that the National Climate Change Week celebration is not about politics or individuals' concern. Vurengembaini Marama made this clear while closing the National Climate Change Week in Suva today. Anna Ravulo has more.
National climate change was celebrated across the country this week. The Prime Minister says the celebration had nothing to do with politics.
This has not been about politics or people's individual concerns. These have been set aside by those who marched or took part in the various events because we all know we are part of something much greater, a crusade to save our nation and save our planet.
Banwarama added that they have had many donations leading up to COP23, with Russia being the latest donating more than $1 million. Meanwhile, Year 7 student Timothy Naulusala won the National Climate Change Oratory Contest and the prize of a trip to Bonn, Germany for COP23.
I'm proud of myself and my village, and especially my school. My village and my families and all the people who support me in my oratory speech today.
Various government ministries and students from different schools gathered at Sakuna Park today to celebrate the end of National Climate Change Week. Anna Ravulo, FBC News.
All supermarkets and pharmacies are required by the Fiji Revenue and Customs Service to install the electronic fiscal devices at their businesses by 31st December. This is in accordance with the Tax Administration 2017 regulations. FRCS has provided an EFD test environment to developers and manufacturers of point-of-sale systems and electronic sales data controller devices. This will be tested before final submission for accreditation to the technical committee to ensure that supermarkets and pharmacies comply by the deadline. Assaulting police officers on duty will not be tolerated. Chief Justice Anthony Gates said this while remembering fallen officers during Police Remembrance Day in Suva today. Pranita Prakash reports.
15 fallen officers were remembered for their service, loyalty and bravery to the blue uniform today.
Not everyone who serves with the police or armed services is expected to die a hero's death, but they are expected to be steadfast on a dangerous path.
Chief Justice Anthony Gates says officers sometimes find themselves in situations where they are outnumbered and in many cases end up being assaulted.
The courts do not take lightly such assaults on officers of the state, carrying out their lawful duties in a lawful and reasonable manner.
Among those gathered at today's ceremony were the family of 22-year-old Ironi Dongunu, who died as a victim of a hit-and-run accident in June.
Here to remember Ironi, and we really missed him so far till now. It has been 3 months and a few weeks. 3 months and a few weeks now, and we still miss him.
The fallen officers were from 21 to 51 years of age and dedicated their service to the Fiji Police Force. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Still to come, asbestos successfully removed. And Fiji's coffee culture on the rise. Stay with us.
Au tikongon na tao na singatoka ando talifaka na wakaronga ng Bula FM number 2 na sere.
We adora subuli kurnambili. Ibora ni batu karahang barabi na nga. Do talitakina na wakaronga ng Bula FM number 2 na sere. Bula.
Bula FM number 2 na sere.
Asbestos has been successfully removed from the Suva Civic Centre auditorium. This was confirmed by the National Occupational Health and Safety Services of the Employment Ministry, Suva City Council and its contractor Contract Environmental Services during a meeting this week. The building and surroundings are clear of asbestos. The public is being advised that all access point of entry to Civic House from the New Town Hall Road and Stinson Parade Road are now open and fully accessible, as all asbestos material has been safely removed and cleared. It is crucial that everyone in the country takes part in this year's census. Bureau of Statistics Senior Statistician Emily Soderberg says that even though this is a big exercise, it is the only exercise that collects information from households. Soderberg says this information will give them key indications on demographic, social and economic welfare of the country.
So it really is important to ensure that proper planning is done, as well as relevant policies come out of the numbers that are collected with the census.
Coffee has become a popular beverage with Fijians in recent years, helping to kickstart their day. Nestle and the University of the South Pacific marked World Coffee Day to celebrate the evolving and increasing coffee culture. Kelly Vathala reports.
Coffee is fuel for many people who are thirsty for an extra burst of energy, and the number of coffee drinkers continue to increase every year, even for a small country like ours.
As you can see, coffee has become part of our culture. Coffee has penetrated the Fiji market quite extensively. You can see that with the amount of coffee shops around us, the coffee sales, and it has affected many generations of people. So
Many students say coffee has become part of completing their assignments late into the night and a beverage that freshens their mind every morning.
As a student, I use coffee for daylighting my assignment, and over the years, many students have just been using coffee.
Before, coffee wasn't so much as a thing. Now, many students in USP are using it as a way to energize themselves when they're sitting before they're sitting for the paper.
We usually rely on coffee to stay awake longer in the late nights doing our studies.
Coffee is a popular beverage and is an important commodity. Over 2 billion cups of coffee are consumed in the world every day, and millions of small producers from developing countries make a living by growing coffee. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Lucky Savanathan Daveta of Daumbati Suva has won 2 front stage tickets for the Lionel Richie concert in Auckland, New Zealand next year. Together with the show tickets comes return airline tickets and $1,000 spending money. Daveta says that every time he texted into Gold FM, he prayed for his number to be picked on the draw date and to win. He says he grew up listening to Lionel Richie and this will be a dream trip for him. The competition started on 25th of July on Gold FM. The Lionel Richie concert is on the 12th of April 2018 at Spark Arena in Auckland, New Zealand.
I just want to go to it. It's a thing that you listen to it, but actually to go there and see the guy, totally different thing. It's not like watching TV, where you're standing in front there and people are just screaming beside you. And I'll be screaming, don't worry.
Congratulations again, Savanatha. Ahead in sports with Jamie, bodybuilders prepare for Suva Classic. But up next is Akosita with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening. Coming up, Digicel launches Samsung Galaxy Note 8. And in growing Fiji, HFC launches new financial service. Stay with us.
I'm Andrea Sorobakroa of Neabu Wenbuga Telebu. Whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Kano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the
Leading our business tonight, Digicel launched its Samsung Galaxy Note 8 in Suva last night, and it is now available in all Digicel outlets. Samsung's head of sales for Fiji, Sam Holken, says the new device is the best, latest and innovative. With much improved and amazing features, Holken says Galaxy Note 8 has the largest display ever put on a mobile phone. It has a full HD resolution and has the brightest and most vibrant display.
The only other thing I would add is that customers should definitely get out and try it out, pick it up, experience the display, experience the S Pen. Is really the best way to understand just how great this device is.
We now join Savanatha from the HFC Bank with the latest from the money markets.
Unaka. Let's look at the performance of our basket of currency that set the Fiji dollar value over a 5-day moving average. When compared to last week, the US dollar has strengthened by 30 points. The Kiwi dollar has weakened by 34 points, and the Aussie dollar is down by 18 points. It's great news for those selling their US dollars, but not so great for those selling their Aussie and Kiwi currencies. This morning, the United States released its gross domestic product figures. They increased from 3% to 3.1%. The US dollar opened 5 basis points stronger today. That's the economic news for me, Vinaka.
Thanks, Save. Now on to today's exchange rates and foreign currencies. In the Fijian dollar, the Fijian dollar rose against the Chinese yuan to close at 3.21 and was up against the American dollar at 48 cents and Aussie dollar closing at 48 cents and just above 61 cents respectively. As for the commodities market, oil was down at 51.55 a barrel, gold was up at 1,284.61 per ounce, and silver rose slightly at 16.88 an ounce. And in growing Fiji tonight, HFC Bank has launched a new financial service for its customers. The agency banking has been launched in partnership between the bank, Vodafone Fiji, and the Pacific Financial Inclusion Program and ePay. The services has been rolled out at the Vodafone branch in MHCC, Damoda City and Nausori. Customers can carry out transactions either via Vodafone Fiji's mobile network or through Vodafone's point-of-service machines.
Any sort of transactions that's normally carried out by a teller, they'll be able to do it. Deposits, withdrawals, payment of bills. It is a great thing, yeah.
So what this partnership brings is basically the concept of branchless banking, which means people can do the banking services in a corner store near them without actually the bank setting up a branch in that area.
And that was business this evening. Now to sports. Here's Jamie.
Thanks, Akosita, and good evening. Ahead in sports, unchanged draw side to face Canberra Vikings. And Fiji Pearls host fundraiser before leaving for Wales tour. Details after the break.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफरी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन तक ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
Fiji Airways Ndrua coach Senirusi Serubakula has made 3 positional changes to his starting lineup against the Canberra Vikings in the National Rugby Championship tonight. While Serubakula is going with the same 15 players who started against Perth Spirit last week, he has made positional changes in his backline. Captain John Stewart, who played on the wing last week, moves to outside centre, while Ironi Wasiteri, who played at outside centre, moves to number 12. Ironi Sau, who played at inside centre last week, moves to the wing. There are no changes in the forward pack. The Australian Super Rugby teams have been given the nod to include a player from either Fiji, Japan or the USA for next season. And with the current performance of the Fijian Ndrua in its NRC, it's highly likely a few of the players from the Ndrua team could feature in the Super Rugby next year. Rohit Deo tells us more.
Players in the Fijian Ndrua side have something more to play for now.
The reason that we've included a Fijian player as one of the strategic foreign players that can be recruited by Super Rugby teams is because we want to deepen our relationship with Fiji and help Fiji to develop.
By doing this, both the Australian teams and the Fijian players will benefit.
Super Rugby sides the chance to gain access to the talent in Fiji so that they can start winning more often, because we want our Super Rugby teams to be winning. I guess the other point is hopefully by giving more Fijian players exposure at Super Rugby level, we're laying the foundations for Fiji to have its own Super Rugby team in the near future.
This opens up a huge opportunity for players like Ironi Sau, who is already living his dream.
It's been a pleasure for me. I'm lucky enough to be called in this squad, especially with those big boys who play in the Flying Fijian squad, especially Vasteri and them. It's an honor to play alongside with them, and I'm happy to play with them.
The Fijian Ndrua takes on Canberra Vikings in its next match at 9:30 tonight. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Former Parramatta Eels superstar and Fiji Mbati rep Semi Randrandra was finally unveiled by his new rugby union club Toulon in the French top 14 yesterday. The school's rugby team were hammered 54 points to 7 by the New Zealand schools team in the Tri-Nations series currently underway in Melbourne, Australia. New Zealand led 23 points to 7 at the half-time mark and ran in 9 tries in the game the Fiji's won. Fiji's next game is against the Australian school team on the 11th of next month.
It was a very good experience taking on the #1 professional rugby team in the world, taking on the baby All Blacks, but it was a disappointing turnout.
There will be a sea of purple in a small suburb in Suva on Sunday when a community gathers to watch their favourite son play in the NRL Grand Final. Family and friends of Melbourne Storm's Suliasi Vunivalu and Bangasau in Turak are counting down the hours until the NRL's 2017 leading try scorer runs onto the field. Melitavanga has more.
Suliasi Vunivalu's younger siblings are excited to wear their purple outfits on Sunday to support their role model and the eldest of the siblings. We are ready to cheer for my brother, and we thank the Lord for bringing him this far.
All the best, Vunivalu.
Sermaya Matasere, a childhood friend, says a feast has already been planned for the big day.
We are planning to bring food and drinks and have it at his place and cheer for him in the final on Sunday. We will celebrate his achievement.
Fiji National Rugby League Chief Executive Timothy Nalamba applauded Vunivalu for his remarkable rookie season, being named this year's leading try scorer. Nalamba now looks forward to what the 21-year-old can offer in the final.
We are sure that Suli will display a type of character that is renowned for
a Fijian body player.
Vunival will cap the year by representing Fiji at next month's World Cup. Unable to play for Australia after falling short in residency qualifications requirement. No doubt, the crowd will be just as big here in Bangasau for that. Melitavanga, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Pearls left for Europe this morning to play 4 international test matches in Wales. However, before leaving, the team hosted a fundraising event in Suva last night to assist the team in upcoming events. Rohit Deo reports.
A huge crowd turned up to support our netballers last night. Funds raised will help support the team as the Netball Association hardly received financial support from its parent body.
Unlike our football and rugby brothers, Netball Fiji does not receive any assistance from its parent body. Our parent body is poor, and literally poor. Thank you.
Coach Vicky Wilson has assured donors their contribution is for a good cause.
The right type of support, that change can happen. I believe with significant investment, we can move in the direction we want to move.
Chief Guest Prime Minister Voringe Bainimarama reminded the girls the country has their full support.
And that passion applies to far more than just rugby. All across our islands we can see netball being played in schools, in villages, in community centers, and all of those competitors look to our Fiji Pearls for motivation.
Around $100,000 was collected last night. The funds will be used in preparations for next year's Commonwealth Games and the Netball World Cup in 2019. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Both the Fiji men's and women's basketball teams registered their first win in the inaugural Melanesian Cup yesterday. After opening day losses, both sides came out firing against the Solomon Islands to record convincing wins. Vashnil Prasad has more.
Knowing the intense competition on hand, the Fiji men's basketball team needed a win to remain in contention for the finals of the Melanesian Cup. Fiji made a powerful return and thumped Solomon Islands 54-31.
Faking on the 3, left hand is good.
Marcus Whippy, having an outstanding performance, scored the most points for our national team. The Fiji women's side also proved too strong for the Solomons as they defeated the first-timers by 76-54.
It takes one bounce in, can't score, gets a rebound, try to get it again, Tora go, and basket is...
Host Papua New Guinea remains undefeated and are on track to qualify for the finals. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the Fiji women's basketball team has qualified to the finals of the Melanesian Cup after beating New Caledonia 55 points to 49 today. The side led 37-24 going into the third quarter. Here are some highlights from the match.
They're just taking their time. If we will need to do something, draws the player, open 3 is drilled. Great layup there by the number 7. 40. Straight in, she should make it. Yes, she does.
18 bodybuilders will take part in the Mr. and Miss Suva Classic competition tomorrow. While fans can expect a few regular competitors, there will also be many first-timers to the show. Vashnil Prasad reports.
The struggle is real for 28-year-old Angel Pickett. Suva Classic will be her first public show and she is ready to pose a positive image for the event tomorrow.
Gym every day, either 5 in the morning or 5 in the afternoon, depending on the work schedule, and strict diet. So I was on a strict 1,500 calorie diet.
Solomon Island bodybuilder Phantom Mania says it has been a long way to be part of his favorite sport.
I love this sport because it motivates me and it helps me. It's kind of helping my health, yeah, and it's a motivating sport.
There is a lot to achieve for these bodybuilders with Mr. and Miss Fiji competition just around the corner.
I've been taking advice from some of the experts here in Fiji, and I've been doing well so far, so I'm looking forward for the show.
It has been months of hard work by these bodybuilders who believe they have done more than enough to display their posters to the public tomorrow. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Hockey clubs from around the country are taking part in the 2017 Eastgate Memorial Tournament that started in Suva today. 7 women's and 12 men's teams will compete at the 3-day event, including 2 teams who are making a return to one of Fiji hockey's biggest tournaments after a few years. Merli Tavanga with the details.
Fiji's top teams will be able to showcase their talent in Fiji's biggest hockey tournament.
We can expect clean, competitive hockey. At the same time, we are very encouraged to find teams from Levuka.
While other teams are vying for the trophy, 2 old hockey district powerhouses, Ba and Levuka, are making a comeback this year after more than 5 years.
From Ba and Levuka, and to encourage that participation, the tournament committee and the sponsors are kindly have set aside the 2 teams to challenge for a particular cup and a particular prize money as well.
Meanwhile, one of the top guns, Marist, will be fielding a strong side to win its own title.
We've been wanting to win our tournament for the last 5 years now. Just a bit of a setback this year. We've had injuries to 2 of our main players from New Zealand, and we also have players who have been training this year also carrying injury at the moment. But needless to say, we're still putting in a strong team.
The tournament ends Saturday. Merli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Football Association player transfer window closes tomorrow, and Fiji FA says the number of applicants in this window has been far fewer compared to previous years. Chief Executive Muhammad Yusuf says this could be due to the changes they've made to the transfer process.
Transfer legislation, the updated, was approved in the council meeting on 20th of August, and as a result we have seen a very little movement compared to last few years. Although there's a couple of more days to go, we expect some to come.
That's it from Sports Tonight. Angie joins you later on with weather and in new media. Nokia launches a 3G model of its famous Nokia 3310 handset. Details after the break.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and ndo moi viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola ndo talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina ndo moi viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tale, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu pinasabali pag nagkunturongo. Barong na Radio Fiji 1 nando moi viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 nando moi viti na honga ni BNN.
Do you find the iPhone 8 or the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 too pricey newfangled? Nokia sure has some good news for you. The company on Thursday announced a version of its famous 3310 phone that you can actually make calls from. This 3G 3310 can do it all. And it's weather time now with Angie.
Hello to you and to the awesome weekend. The wonderful day we all look forward to is here. So I witnessed a lot of you in high spirits today, even though we had gloomy and dull conditions. Well, as the saying goes, it must be Friday. Looking at the west, partly sunny and cloudy, but with no chances of rain. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, a gloomy day throughout with few light rain. And up north, cloudy day with gusty winds. At sea, south to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. And for the tides, high tide tomorrow morning will be at 1:53 with low tide at 8:05. See the beauty of sunrise at 5:49. For tomorrow, we have sunny spells in the bag. It's quite clear, just hoping we have pure sunshine throughout. Tomorrow's temps, Suva and Nandi will be quite cool with highs of 18. Can you believe it? 18 degrees. Looking further into Sunday, we're looking at a dry day with brighter conditions. Now, who's planning for a swim? I'm quite sure Jackie is. And that's all from the Weather World.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fiji and Pulse today, we asked, who are you backing for the NRL Grand Final between Melbourne Storm and the North Queensland Cowboys?
I think I'll back up the Storms because they have potentials to win.
Melbourne Storm will win because Sules Munwalu is playing in the team and it is one of the senior teams in NRL.
I think Melbourne Storm will win because of Suliasi Munwalu.
I think Melbourne Storm will win this grand fight because of Suliasi Munwalu.
Recapping the main stories, 15 sentenced in Ra Christian State matter, PM clarifies climate change week not politics, and supermarkets and pharmacies to install EFDs. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question, this week we are asking, are local players in the Fijian draw ready for flying Fijian duties? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day. This beautiful pine tree shot was sent by Venus Prasad of Bar. We'd like to encourage all our viewers to send in more beautiful pictures of Fiji, whether it's our tropical flowers, stunning waterfalls, maybe a visiting cruise ship, or even your favorite pet. Just send them through to email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook, FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Bye for now.
Bula, Keron mai singatoka, Keron do tali taka na varorong na radio Fiji 1 and do moi viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Uti ko minasong uti ko lang do tali taka na radio Fiji 1 kina do moi viti.
Kaya ako sila tali, naguraramay na omanyi, nanronga. Gitu tali tagi yang gitu kena sebalik pun nanggunturong. Barong na radio Fiji 1 nandu moi viti.
Na radio Fiji 1 nandu moi viti na ponga ni BNN.